a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York
we
Post.
have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. I mean, basically, the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false.
Of course not.
And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false.
The Hunter Biden
distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less.
Just a little bit less. A little bit
fewer
less.
people saw it than would have otherwise.
A little bit less?
So it
How
definitely
much? Substantial.
What percentage?
Substantial.
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful.
Meaningful. I thought he just said it was a little. I've played this clip. I played this clip last week. This is not the purpose of the clip. It's not to highlight the shocking revelation that Zuckerberg just admitted openly, shamelessly, and I dare say either proudly or deliberately to tell the world, I didn't want to do it. There's a reason for which he's disclosing this now so openly and so unabashedly. I've talked about it last week. I'm not going to go back into it. Today, it is to deal with the fake news, gaslighting, pathological liars. We just heard this. We just heard this with our eyes and saw it with our ears. I did that on purpose. We heard this with our ears, saw it with our eyes. Unless we're going to say this is a deep fake, this occurred. Joe Rogan asked Zuckerberg of Facebook, did you censor the Hunter Biden story? The laptop. Zuckerberg answers, funny thing about that, the FBI came to us and said, you'd better be on the lookout for some Russian disinformation, so we suppressed the story meaningfully. You just heard that with your own 2 eyes, 2 ears, and it's... You heard it. And then you got to see things like this. I watch this and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Let me just make sure the audio is good. I watch this and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Josh Zepps, I believe he was on Rogan. He was on Rogan. That's how I saw him the first time. He says, this is like, and I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. What does this viral tweet even mean? The thing that I just heard with my own ears and eyes, Joe Rogan asking Zuckerberg if they suppressed or censored the Hunter Biden laptop story. And we heard, what does this even mean? I hear words, but I've listened to Zuck on Rogan. They don't discuss the government at all. Facebook isn't the government. Joe Rogan isn't the government. Hold on a second, Josh. Let me just, your credentials. ABC broadcaster. There you have it. Professional fellow at UTS. Ne'er-do-well. I don't know what that means. My views aren't ABC's. Your views are barely coherent. What does this viral tweet even mean? I've listened to Zuck on Rogan. They don't discuss the government at all. Facebook isn't the government. Arguable if they are acting at the behest of the government, but set that legal question aside. Joe Rogan isn't the government. Thank you for stating the obvious. I try to continue to understand Trumpism, but sheesh, it's getting harder. Can anyone decode this for me? I swear to you, by the way, the first time I came across a tweet from Josh Zepps, I thought it was satire. And if you read this and you read it as satire, It reads like satire. What does this tweet even mean when Zuckerberg says the FBI came to them and asked them to censor this and we censored it and censored a story meaningfully? What does it even mean? I don't know. I don't know. They don't discuss the government at all.
There's a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York
we had that
Post.
too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had that
so
too.
you guys censored that as well?
You guys
So we took a
censored
different
that as well. That being the Hunter Biden laptop story. We took a different approach.
path than Twitter. I mean, basically, the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us.
The FBI basically came to us, and thick-skulled McGee, Josh Zepps, can't understand what this tweet even means. They don't talk about the government. No, they just talk about the government's police force, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Just they have minor connections to the government. Minor, subtle and then you go down. And I swear to you, I don't know what's satire and what's not anymore. I say you inexplicably left out the FBI. You know, that entity that Zuckerberg told Joe Rogan had come to him and told him to suppress the story. Is the FBI part of the government? And someone who watched, it's a Ukrainian flag, and I don't know if it's satire anymore because there's a thing called culture jamming, which I know that people are doing, which is creating accounts looking just accurate enough to be realistic, but parody because of the absurdity. They didn't, though. And Zuckerberg didn't even say they did on Joe's podcast. And I don't know who I'm engaging with now. I mean, this is, I don't know. I don't know anymore what's real, what's satire. And I feel like I'm going crazy, swimming upstream, trying to fight peacefully, trying to argue peacefully against the absolute madness. I don't know. Now I'm just going to go to the chat and see if anybody can possibly understand is Josh Zepps being an idiot, being a liar, being sarcastic, or just being deliberately obtuse to try to spin this shocking revelation in a way to confuse his subscribers and followers who may not, because he didn't tweet the original viral tweet, which is interesting. What is it? Is it stupidity? Is it malice? Is it, I don't know. You tell me. You all tell me. Viva Fry. Hold on. Maybe I'm not. Oh, I'm not actually crooked. My screen is not open. That has always been the point, to make you feel lost, confused, alone. Keep your wits about you. I'm confused. What do they mean when they say the FBI came to me and asked me to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story because it was Russian disinformation, and an ABC reporter can't figure it out or purports to not be able to understand it, doesn't share the video, just shares a grotesquely dishonest interpretation of the obvious so that other people just go along. It's a waste of time even thinking about that ish. Oh, that means shit. I get frustrated. I'm like a salmon swimming against the current. I'm like a peacock that wants to fly. No, I just watched the other guys the other day, and it was great. Gaslighting. I mean, I think that's it. Bon pearl. Good afternoon, people. Late in the day, short notice stream as always. I take my streams like I take myself, short and engaging.